Okay. What is going on, LBHT crew? B, what is going on?
Whole lot of nothing. My
Well,
Dodgers
there's
did not complete the comeback last night. Very, very upset. You all know I'm a big baseball fan. Uh, didn't didn't love that last night. Sorry though. They gonna bounce back here in about an hour and 45.
okay. You gonna watch it?
I mean, I assume that we'll still be doing this, but yes,
You're not
I'm
gonna
gonna
watch it.
watch it. I
All right.
watched the entire game.
Yeah,
What you
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. You watch the condensed version?
No, I watched it live.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Right up
Okay.
until after the grand slam when they didn't hit the ball anymore.
Oh, okay. Well,
That part wasn't so great.
all right. Well, there you go. There's your baseball talk, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. Look, it is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. I always got to check because I keep forgetting we don't do Twitter anymore, thanks
Yeah.
to Elon Musk. Whatever, Elon. But wherever you're watching us, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, follow all that good stuff. If you're listening to the audio version, it is Thursday. Happy Thursday. Hope your lunch is going well. All right. Make sure you give us a 5-star review. All right. Share this with your friends and loved ones because we are trying to grow out here. Okay. All right.
But
Look. What'd you
what's
say?
up, Zeke?
Zeke, what's going on?
Happy
Thanks for
birthday,
coming through.
man.
Hey, happy birthday, Zeke. Appreciate you coming through on your birthday. Everybody show Zeke some love.
You had to
All
put your
right.
age in there. We know you're young.
He said, "What's good, old heads?"
didn't appreciate that part of
speaking
it.
of speaking of birthdays, it was our nephew's birthday yesterday, who was also 27. Okay, so happy birthday to Sadiq.
Yes,
All right, he's
happy
over in
birthday.
Japan right now. So it's actually, I think it's he's like a day ahead of us, I believe.
Yeah, about 14 and a half hours.
Yeah. So happy birthday, Sadiq. All right, stay safe over there, have fun, and we're gonna celebrate when you come back. All right. All right, who we got in the house here? Living Legend was here early. Says lunch break hot take. Salute to you. Urban was second. Salute Urban. Second. Yes, indeed. Danity in the house. Salute to Danity. Says welcome everyone. Hit that like and subscribe
What's up,
button as
Danny?
you enter. Yes, Cash App, $ LBHT Show. Hashtag road to 3,000. Yes, indeed. Look, that's how we do our super chats over here. Super chats is, we haven't enabled it yet. We've had discussions. Okay, we had discussions with the staff. All right, but for right now, how we're doing it is a Cash App and that pin link that you see in the chat box. Okay, that'll take you to our Streamlabs page. Both ways, you leave your donation, leave your comment. You get a nice little animation on the screen. Read your comment on air. It's better than super chat. All right,
Yeah.
but some of you guys been asking about super chat. We're in discussions. Okay, we're in
Well,
discussions.
yeah. When Jose said we had discussions with the staff, and what he means is Jacob wasn't feeling it. So we'll try again later.
Yeah. Big Reg in the house. What's good, Big Reg? Thanks for coming through.
What's up, Reg?
Jeremy's in the house. Says, hey guys, happy Wednesday. Salute, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jeremy.
We got Trib One in the house. Says the highlights. What highlights?
No, I think he's asked if I watched the
Oh,
highlights of the game.
yeah.
Haters.
Yes, Trib One. That's accurate. Xavier Smith, what's going on? Says, fellas, I am here and ready for a great show. Yes, indeed. Thanks for coming through, Xavier. Rave Kingdom says, yo, what's up, Rave? We got who else in here? Cold Air Multimedia. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you. Thanks for coming through. Chef Trez in the house says, when is Bobby coming on? Bobby will be here soon, Chef. He'll be here soon. Yes, we have a special guest. Okay. We did a segment on him. Okay. You guys, not us. We were saying some mean things about Bobby, and he didn't appreciate it. So he wants to come on here and set the record straight. All right. So he'll be here after the Black History Fact. A little after that. Hola amigos, says Noah. Thanks for coming through. We got Evan in the house, says right, Chef. Yeah, okay. We got some Bobby supporters in here. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, look, Bobby gonna make his case. All right. I don't know what he's making his case for. We ain't do anything, but he gonna make his case. Filthy, what's going on? Says what up, y'all? Thanks for coming through. We got Tila in the house. Says what up, Chef Trez? Oh, okay. What's up, Tila? Okay, I think we got another Bobby supporter in the house. Okay, salute y'all showing out. I like that. Okay, well, welcome. If it's your first time here, welcome. Thanks for coming through. Our guy Hendo in the house. What's going on, Hendo from the Road Pod?
What's up, Hendo?
Says yo. Yes, he says happy birthday, Zeke. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Slim Smith is in the house. Says what's up, fellas? Thanks for coming through. We're getting all the shots out the way, and then we'll hit you with the Black History fact. Who else we got in here? Osmond in the house says, hey, Jose, Brodny, and all the chat. Salute Osmond. Our guy Clot's in the house. Says Clot's in the building. Salute Clot. Appreciate you. RJ Ori's in the house. We'll do it real quick. Ryan C, the Flex Zone. What's up, Flex Zone? Thanks for coming through. We got MDT Sports in the house. Says, what's up, everybody? What's up, MDT Sports? Be the change you wish to see. Who else? Who else is here? Reverse is in the house. Our guy Just Allo and Daniel Franklin. All right. Yes. We got through everybody. Some of y'all are here waiting for Bobby. Bobby ain't here yet. He'll be here soon. All right. We're gonna talk to Bobby for a little bit. I'm not sure how long he's gonna hang out for. But we got a whole show ahead of you guys. Okay. We got the Ravens coming up, playing Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. I have some concerns, B. All right. I hope it ain't on the offensive side. Okay. We'll see what the defense can do this week. The Panthers.
Man.
We're gonna talk the future of the Panthers, what they should do the rest of this season. All right.
Keep pounding.
Keep pounding. We got a court of public opinion. All right. There was a head coach firing yesterday, and there could be or could not be a quarterback behind that. All right. We'll let y'all decide. Okay. It's a court of public opinion. It's up to you guys. Yolanda, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Says good evening, LBHT family. Good evening to you, Yolanda. Appreciate you. Terry W, I see you in there. Thanks for coming through. All right. We got the shout outs out the way. There's 62 people in here. Hit that like button if you're new, and there are some new people in here. Hit that subscribe button. All right. We're going to get started. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And B and Akole have a Black History fact for you.
1 second on that, because first.
Hey! Shout out to Zeke Kokage. What's he say?
Zeke said he had to hold on, let me pull it back up here. Had to show love to my YouTube unks. Happy birthday, Zeke. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Hey, appreciate you. Okay. Show some love to Zeke, everybody. It's his birthday. Kyle Cash, salute. Thanks for coming through. All right. Let's go.
This week on LBHT's Black History Fact, Art Shell, born on November 26, 1946, in Charleston, South Carolina, carved out an impressive legacy in the NFL. He got his start at Maryland State University before being picked by the Oakland Raiders in the 1968 draft. Shell was a formidable offensive tackle for the Raiders from 1968 to 1982, playing a pivotal role in the team's 3 Super Bowl wins, 11, 15, 18. Throughout his career, he earned 8 Pro Bowl selections and a spot on the NFL 1970s All-Decade team. His contributions were recognized with his induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1989. After hanging up his cleats, Shell broke new ground as the first African-American head coach in the modern NFL era, when he took the helm of the Los Angeles Raiders on October 9, 1989. Art Shell replaced Mike Shanahan and won his first game that Monday night against the New York Jets. His coaching career also included stints with the Kansas City Chiefs and Atlanta Falcons, plus another period leading the Raiders from 2006 to 2007. Art Shell's career is a testament to his skill and leadership on and off the field, paving the way for future generations in the NFL.
Hey, salute to Art Shell. Man, those pads, those
Listen,
socks.
I had to put both of those highlights in there because those were the only points that they scored in that game. They won 14-7. And I had to cut down those highlights, man. The NFL players used to be so slow. Those things were a minute long at first.
Man. All right. Look, we'll filibuster a little bit. Bobby should be here soon. I know he's doing his other show. But
yeah,
okay.
He's about 7:40.
You said about 7:40? Cool. Let's get into some Ravens talk then. Let's get into some Ravens talk, and then when Bobby comes on, we'll cut to him and we'll chop it up.
All
right. So let's switch scenes. Let's switch scenes.
That's what I was doing.
All right. The Ravens pulled out a you talk about a nail biter. That was a nail biter last week versus the Bengals. But
Yes.
hey, a win's a win.
Mhm.
We'll take it. We're sitting on top of the AFC North. All right. Now, this game right here for all the locals around here, okay? Everybody in the Baltimore area do not want to see your teams lose to a Washington team. Okay, this is the battle of the Beltway. This should be one of the bigger rivalries in sports if NFL knew what they were doing.
Well, and if to be fair, if Washington knew what they were doing as well.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
They've been pretty bad for a while.
But still, even bad teams, they get up for rivalry games, right?
Sometimes.
But the battle of the Beltway, okay, Ravens versus Commanders, but this time, man, they are for real. Okay, for a while, I felt like they were a quarterback away. They've always had some talent over the years. They just didn't have the quarterback or coach or owner. But it seems like they have all three now. Even Quinn, who I'm not a big fan of, seems to be doing a pretty good job so far.
I'm not going to give him any credit for that. That's Jaden Dan over there. Dan Quinn. I'm Dan Quinn's fine. Whatever.
He's doing all right.
It's Jaden Daniels, coming in and adjusting to the NFL and just being a playmaker. They've had Terry McLaurin for a while. The rest of the wide receiving core has kind of thinned out. And they're just they're okay in the backfield. They added Austin Eckler, which was nice, but I believe he's out again. Brian Robinson is kind of just a guy. And it really has been just Jaden Daniels making it go. I do think that Baltimore's going to blow them out this week.
You do?
Oh, yeah. I think that Baltimore is a much more talented team than Washington. Lamar is a better quarterback, obviously, than Jaden Daniels. They did bring in Dean Pease, old passive Pease, to help Zach Orr adjust to being a defensive coordinator. He's a senior advisor. And look, Jaden Daniels is a rookie, right? And I would not expect, despite how they've looked for the first 5 weeks, I would not expect a rookie to go out there and torch that Ravens secondary.
I don't either. First of all, do you think Dean Pease is going to help out?
Yeah. Listen,
I think so too.
There's guys that we kind of look at and say, oh, that person's not a good player. That person's not a good coach, whatever. And that can be true. And not everybody fits into certain roles, but he does have a lot of football knowledge. He does have a lot of experience in Zach, or just he doesn't right now. Not the knowledge, he doesn't have the experience. And so I think he will be able to help him, along the way. And honestly, the players need to play better. I mean, we used to kind of push back on John Harbaugh when you would say that, because there were times when it was clearly the coaching. But right now, man, you have a lot of playmakers out there. You have a lot of high-level players on that defense, and they need to play better than they've been playing.
Well, Kyle Hamilton said it today in his press conference. There's nothing wrong structurally. Game plan, there's nothing wrong. And it doesn't seem like it. I don't think this scheme ever puts them in bad positions. It doesn't seem that way. It just looks like players aren't making plays. And that's exactly what Kyle Hamilton said. He said, we just have to play better. We got to tackle. we got to communicate. That's what it feels like. Obviously, I'm not the coach. I don't know all the X's and O's, but it feels that way when they're out there. It just looks like, oh, guy missed a tackle. Oh, you know, Marlowe's not where he's supposed to be, or or Williams isn't where he's supposed to be. It feels like that. So that's something that they can clean up, and I expect that from good veteran players.
Yeah. And I do expect the offense to continue rolling this week. I think they'll be able to score on Washington. So I don't think it's going to be particularly close. I would like it if it was close. I mean, I would like a more entertaining game, and I do like Jaden Daniels. I don't want to see him go out there and get beat up. But I don't think it's going to be that close this week.
I think I'm kind of back and forth on it. I don't think it's going to be as close, just because, again, last week wasn't a great showing by the defense, and it's like me and B say, Harbaugh just doesn't have his team ready week in and week out. Teams that we're supposed to blow out, we struggle with and sometimes lose. When there's more eyes on the situation, that's when they tend to step up. I think this could have been a game that we kind of overlooked if we took care of business like we should have last week. But winning like we won in overtime, it puts people on alert. Like, the defense looked really bad.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the defense is definitely going to, pin their ears back this week. And like you said, look, there's just some things that Jaden Daniels he hasn't experienced yet. He's not going to be able to pick apart this defense. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
Terry McLaurin, he's a game changer. That's the X factor right there.
Yeah, and he has learned how to find Terry over the last couple of weeks. So, that's concerning a little bit. But their other receivers are De'Ami Brown, Luke McCaffrey. I mean, there's not much there to worry about in terms of the skill positions. So I think, and I hope that the Ravens will be able to slow down Terry McLaurin and the rookie in his sixth game and get the win.
Osman says he has a trap game feeling. I don't know if any game could be a trap game for us anymore. Right? Like, the way we've been playing, the way we kind of stumbled out the gates, I don't know if we're at a point where we can look at any game like, we got that covered. Obviously we can look like the best team in the league when we're on top of it. The problem has always been with Harbaugh is consistency. Mm-hmm. That's always been a problem with his teams. This predates Lamar. Right. This goes back to Flacco. Right. So I don't look at any game that, any team that we can sleep on. We have to show up every game prepared. And yeah, we could blow them out. Ray Kingdom says Ravens win 30-14. It could be something like that. It could be 17-14.
I think it'll be closer to the 30-14. Lamar has been extremely locked in. He's playing, some of the best ball of his career. Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, those guys, Rashad Bateman, those guys have been showing up. Obviously, Derrick Henry's been playing great. The O-line, Todd Monken has done a good job of kind of disguising their weakness on the O-line. Yeah. And I think they keep it going. I think they keep it going.
Has Eckler played at all this year?
I believe he's played some. I think he got hurt again recently. I think he's out with a concussion, but I'm not 100% sure.
Talented player. Injuries just really have, kept them out recently. But,
yeah, and he's older now as well, and it's just, but he's not the player that he once was. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Let's see. Alex, what's going on? Says, if you told me the Ravens would get that kind of win in Cincy before the season, I definitely would have looked at this as a trap/letdown game. But Washington looks good, so I think they'll be ready. Yeah, Washington does look good. They do. It looks like a different Washington team. It kind of reminds me of when they had RG3 before they ruined his career. Right? When they got RG3, it felt like, all right, these guys are serious. They're gonna be contending for a minute. And then the Shanahans did Shanahan things.
Okay, so Eckler was out week 4 with a concussion. He came back and played last week. but he had a limited practice today, and Brian Robinson missed practice today with a knee injury. So not sure on Brian Robinson. I would imagine that Eckler will be playing.
And Brian Robinson is solid.
He's all right.
He's solid. Yeah. I think
somebody in the chat said he's the best 2-touchdown but gained 17 yards running back of all time.
Who, Brian Robinson?
Yeah. Which I would push back on. I think that's got to be TJ Duckett. But, you
guys don't remember TJ Duckett.
6 of one, half a dozen of the other, right?
I remember TJ Duckett. He almost won me my fantasy league. This is when fantasy football was starting to get popular. And I'll put him out there every week. He would have 5 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, those Jerome Bettis stat lines: 3 carries, 1 yard, 3 touchdowns.
Was it 1 year? 1 year I think he had like 300 yards, but he had like 15 touchdowns.
Right.
Stole every touchdown from who was it? Who was that running back?
At that point, it was it still done? It wasn't done.
Yeah, it was Warwick Dunn.
Yeah.
It was Warwick Dunn.
Yeah, you can't do that to Warwick. That's messed up. But anyway, I think that this week is going to be, I think it's going to be fairly easy for Baltimore. I think it's going to be a show. I think, especially, like I said, following last week where the defense looked horrible. I think they're going to want to step their game up. I think they're going to want to kind of reestablish themselves. So there's a lot of talk from a lot of people that the Ravens defense isn't feared like they used to be. And to be fair, why would you? Right.
Yeah.
But I think that they have players who have that kind of feeling about themselves, right? That kind of pride. You got Roquan, you got Kyle Hamilton, you got Madubuike, and I think they're going to want to go out there and reestablish themselves as one of the top defenses in the league.
Kyle Hamilton for sure. Mm-hmm. Like, definitely, he wants to show out. I think Roquan does too. I just don't know what's going on with him, man. Like, he looks out of shape. Maybe there's an injury there, right? He looks a little bit slower. He just looks off. Marlowe, he looks okay. He made a big play last week. That was huge. Nate Wiggins is a rookie, so we're all kind of giving him a little pass, but I want to see a little bit more out of him as well.
Yeah.
Madubuike and Travis Jones have been looking excellent, as Coach Evans and Chris just joking would tell you. In fact, they did I think they might still be doing a stream now. They're doing a breakdown of last week's game.
Chris was in here a little while ago, I think.
Hey, what's up, Chris? But yeah, they're breaking down their tape. Those guys are excellent. So up front, they're doing their jobs. Linebackers need to step it up. And I agree. I think Dean Pease coming in to advise will help. Pease wasn't terrible here. I mean, he got that moniker, Passive Pease. He wasn't great, but wasn't terrible. And I think him coming in, somebody that I think he coach Zach Orr when Zach Orr was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Give him that guidance. That will help, right? That will help. I think Zach Orr will be okay. I know people are down on Zach Orr. We put out a video. We clipped it from Sunday's game. I don't think you can. I mean, Zach Orr has to take some blame because he's a defensive coordinator. But if this defense is supposed to, mirror those 2000s defenses, then players have to step up, right? We spent a lot of money on that side of the ball. We spent a lot of high draft picks on that side of the ball because that's what we're trying to replicate. Obviously, they're not going to be Ed Reed and Ray Lewis and Nada and Suggs, right? But but that's the hope, right? We're hoping Nnamdi Madubuike can be a Nada type player, right? We're hoping Owe or Ajabo can be a Suggs type player. I mean, that ain't gonna happen, but we're hoping Roquan could be a Ray Light, so on and so forth, right? And we have some very good.
He's already that, right? He's got the preaching down.
Yeah.
Not there on the field, yeah.
Who, Roquan?
Yeah.
When he first got here, he was that. I mean, I think when Roquan got here, the energy on that side of the ball shot up, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he was always attacking the ball, and then I saw everybody tackling better after that, right? I called it the Roquan effect.
Yeah.
But not so much now. And that's the thing. Like, Ray Lewis, when the defense seemed like it was low energy, he go out there and blow somebody up and get them hyped up again, or he go out there and make that play, right? Like Roquan has to be that guy. Kyle Hamilton is an excellent player. Obviously, nobody's going to be Ed Reed, but those are the two leaders. And if you have a young defensive coordinator that you think is struggling a little bit or isn't quite like Mike Macdonald, it's up to you guys to step up. You know what you need to do out there, despite what the call is, right? And tackling that's not a coaching thing. That's a personal thing. That's an attitude thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, our guest is here. Do we have the scene set up?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring him up in a moment here.
Okay, so last week we did a court of public opinion. All right, you guys out there had you said all kinds of vile things about my friend. All right, and he didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
So he sent a message that said, "Hey, bring me on the show. We gotta discuss it." All right. So our friend Bobby Trosset, aka Bobby Baltimore,
and I didn't even do it right. Oh my God!
What'd you do?
I didn't make it the ticker like I was supposed to. I don't know why.
It should work with that.
No, it's fine. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring up Bobby.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, there he is.
How you doing?
Thanks for having me on, guys. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Doing well.
All right. Okay. Look, Bobby, you're saying that we were trying to cancel you. How are we trying to cancel you, Bobby?
Well, I got to tell you, I'm happy that you refer to me as a friend. You would not have known that having watched those 20 minutes. I can't speak for the other two panelists that were on here. I know there were. It was an onslaught. It was 4v1, so it's just the two of you guys. But look, let's hash things out. Let's have a civil conversation. I've had some fun talking about it on my channels. Definitely would like to know where Sarah and I have upset you guys in the past as it relates to Harbaugh, because I'm not even aware of those comments. So definitely want to be educated on that. And I also want to clear a few things up as well from that 20-minute segment that I feel like, stains a little bit about who I think I am and what I've built here in the area and who I am too. Because, there was a lot of misinformation going on, to be honest with you, throughout those 20 minutes. So I just came on to clear it up, introduce myself, have a good conversation surround it.
All right, let's talk about it. I mean, the floor is yours. First of all, tell us what you're upset about. Tell us what you didn't like and what you believe we got wrong.
Well, I mean, for starters, I'm out in Baltimore over the weekend, and I got people coming up to me, a handful of them, kind of shouting things at me related to the name. So, and it was in response to that specific video. In person, having the audacity to kind of come up and say some pretty hurtful things out loud. So, that took me off guard for sure. Obviously, that wasn't your intent, I would think. But there's certain things like, look, I'm not from Ohio. I'm not married. I don't feel slighted by the fact that my media credentials are no longer an accessible thing. And really, the reality is I'm from Albany, New York. Came to Baltimore in 2013 as a freshman at Loyola University, and I've been here or around the area ever since. I mean, it's over a decade, and so while I'll never claim to have roots from here, I did decide after my radio career came to an end in 2022 to embrace this Bobby Baltimore brand that some of my subscribers at the time kind of coined for me. And so I took that, I ran with it, I embraced it, I've built a company around it. And as I said on Twitter, I'm certainly not backing down from the fact that, fandom doesn't necessarily, a brand approach to a business does not equal fandom in my mind. And I've been true to that since the day that I arrived in this town. And I'll always be that way. I understand why you guys took issue with the tweet. I heard that through. But at the end of the day, I still feel like it's a fair observation that many folks were talking about as it related to the 2 days of attendance at the wild card game at Camden Yards. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you have in terms of who I am, what I'm doing, about the brand name itself, about the tweets itself. MAGA Bobby, I have no idea where that came from. So I just thought there were a lot of shots taken, to be honest with you, over those 20 minutes. I just wanted to pop on and speak for myself.
Well, okay, let's start with the first thing you said. I mean, the people approaching you, we don't, that's got nothing to do with us. This didn't start with us.
We condone or anything like that. Like, you can't be running up on people in public. And, you know, I mean, like, if you want to walk up and maybe poke fun or something like that. Or,
can you put him on the bottom there, B?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Let me take this.
But being, aggressively approaching people in public that you don't know is not okay, obviously.
Yeah, and that's got nothing to do with us. I don't even want to address that, to be honest. The tweets are what started this whole thing, right? You tweeting out, is this the right one? This right here is what started this. This had nothing to do with us. This happened hours before we even came on the show. Somebody sent this to us, which is why we discussed it on the Court of Public Opinion. This is you criticizing fans about not showing up to the ball game, right? And really, I know you said it was a bloodbath, 20-minute bloodbath of us jumping on you. Really, our only point was, don't tell fans how to spend their money. Like, the other stuff, I don't care about. You can call yourself Bobby Baltimore or whatever. I don't care. But when you tell fans how they should spend their money, obviously they took offense to it. Obviously they're going to get mad about it. And that's what happened here. And he's asking you, did you buy a ticket? Because you're clearly questioning their fandom, right? And you responding, you're not a fan. Of course they're going to say, oh, well, you're Bobby Baltimore. You're questioning them on why they didn't show up to the game, and you're not a fan.
I wouldn't say I was questioning anyone's fandom. I was making an observation based on what the tweet says. This is obviously a rare opportunity, which the Orioles have now done back-to-back years, host at least one playoff game. And like I said, I mean, look, and here's the thing, the final numbers, as you guys probably know, they don't typically indicate the actual amount of butts that were in seats. And so when I say that they didn't come close to sellouts back-to-back days, I mean it. Like, that's true, and it was evident on the broadcast, right? We all saw left field. And so really it's an observation out of a disappointment. It's not pointing at fans saying, how did you not spend your 4 o'clock weekday at Camden Yards? It's more like, wow, this is disappointing that a team that is on the other side of years and years worth of a brutal rebuild, right, where forget left field. I mean, you couldn't even get people behind the plate all that long ago. And so to me, it was more like, wow, this is really reflective. And I went on to clarify this in one of my streams. It was really reflective to what took place down the second half stretch. And I think in anticipation of those struggles leaking into the postseason, I think that's what led, Birdland, the Orioles fan base, to, in part, not come out. And so I'm not planning on standing down on this one. I'm just not. And
yeah, nobody's asking to, and that's fine if you explain that on your stream. But it started in the tweet, and people are challenging you to tweet. And I looked through your timeline; you didn't clarify it anywhere on your timeline, so that's why people were taking issue with.
And if you read the tweet, you can certainly understand why someone says, or someone reads, "That's a disappointing showing from Birdland," and take that as a challenge directly to the fans, right?
Sure.
You're saying, "Hey, you guys didn't buy the tickets. You didn't show up to the game. That's disappointing." And yeah, we don't really think that people should be telling fans how to spend their money, particularly. I mean, and this is kind of a whole different thing, but particularly with the cost of going to a game. Now I'm not. I don't know 100% on the baseball. I'm not a baseball fan myself, but I know that NBA, NFL, etc. Those costs get really high really fast. And there could be any number of reasons why people wouldn't show up on Tuesday at 4 p.m., right?
Absolutely. And I'm of the belief that, damn it, I mean, the best way to watch a football game is at home.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you got an earpiece in and you can listen to the WBAL radio call, Jerry Sandusky, who's the best in the business, I don't even want to be in there. And to be honest with you, I've actually never attended. Here's the funny part about, and this kind of gets into what I sort of do here on a weekly basis. I've actually never attended a Ravens game as a fan in America. I went to London last year because it was a business trip, and obviously that was an exception, and it was an amazing product at Tottenham. But all the years that I was at the flagship stations, BAL and 98 Rock, I was in the press corps. And those of you who have been in that type of environment, it's soundproof. I mean, it can be a night game with the decibels through the roof, and yeah, you can hear it, but it doesn't like give you chills because it's a soundproof press box. And so, I've always tried to be respectful of the way in which fans spend their hard-earned money. A lot of this is up for interpretation, right? And perhaps you guys as fans, perhaps those in my mentions, in a hypersensitive time with the Orioles losing those 2 games and obviously coming to a screeching halt the season, I'd have to think that played a role in it as well. But I hear you. I respect that opinion, and I have mine.
That's cool. Now the MAGA Bobby part. Where do you think I got that from?
It's just
I rarely tweet politics. I did a little bit in the off season. I certainly did when Trump was shot.
Yes.
What else? There's been very few and far between memories of when I've aired my political beliefs online.
And this isn't like calling you MAGA Bobby. That's not a criticism of you. If you're a conservative, you're conservative. But you've retweeted a lot of different conservatives. You've criticized Joe Biden, which liberals do too, right? But you have a bunch of tweets where you're retweeting Michelle Tafoya, what's his name, Vivek, whatever, at the Republican National Convention, like you're pretty clear on your politics. I don't see a reason for you to hide that. If you're a MAGA guy, if you're if you support Trump, whatever, you're tweeting it out there, and you don't stand down on that. So I don't see it being disrespectful calling you MAGA Bobby. If you called us, 2 liberals, pretty accurate.
MAGA Bobby was a thing to me because although these retweets would suggest that, I've never come out and talked about it. Politics, obviously, for the most part, I'm of the belief, stay out of sports. I think that's one of the beautiful parts of what we do. Being involved in sports is that it gives you a reprieve, especially during election season. So do I lean right? Absolutely. Do I have other beliefs that don't necessarily fall in line with that side of the aisle? Without question. But I really didn't get in. I know I mentioned it off the top, but I didn't come here to talk politics.
That's fine. Over here, we do talk politics and we talk social issues. So that's not a belief that we, that we share. And that's fine. We're not gonna drill you on politics over here. That's fine. You say something big?
And all power to you for incorporating it in. I mean, obviously, right now is a high point time to do that, and I get it.
No, I was just going to say, like, you may not explicitly say your beliefs on Twitter, right? But again, like we talked about with the previous tweet, you can see why that perception would be there considering what's on your timeline, right? And that's what we're going on. Obviously, we don't know you personally, right? Just like you don't know us personally. So, you see a segment on our show and you kind of talked about it on your show. We see what's on your timeline and we take that at face value and talk about it on the show as well.
See, and you're right. I don't know you guys, and you don't mean this is the first time we've ever interacted, to be quite honest with you. And I mean, no disrespect from this whatsoever. I'm not even sure what your first names are. So can we share those right now? Would you mind?
Yeah, I'm Jose, and that's Brodny.
Yeah.
Rodney or Brodny?
Brodny.
Yeah, it's okay. Like Rodney with a B in front of it.
I got you. Okay, good to meet you. I just didn't do my due diligence prior. That's on me.
It's all good.
But with you saying, Brodny, that you don't know me, I guess that was one of the things that rubbed me the wrong way about that 20-minute segment, and it was that there was so much misinformation. It was as if and again, I don't want to put words in each one of your mouths. I know there were 2 other guys that were working as panelists that day, but it came across as there were words called referring to me as, fake, disingenuous, playing the victim, saying I have a wife, saying I'm originally from Ohio, right? Saying that I was fired. I'm happy to get into that in a little bit. I've been very, very outspoken about what took place with me at the radio stations. And then there was also like, hey, I don't know him personally, but yet there's also this like, okay, well, why are we speaking on him as if a lot of this is based in fact? And so I was a little rubbed the wrong way, to be honest with you, with a few of the labels that were attached to my name, because again, it was not your intent whatsoever to see what happened, now to be aware of what happened to me. And it's not a big deal, right? It's verbal stuff. None of it was physical. But there were a lot of names thrown my way, a lot of name calling late at night in Fells Point last weekend. And I'd have to think that it was related to this storm that was caused, whether it was through Twitter or through your show. There's no way of knowing which it came from. And again, I take you guys at face value. I understand that was not your intent, and I respect it. Right?
I think we know. I mean, we're pretty small, although we like to call ourselves the premier nano influencers. We are nano influencers. We're a pretty small operation here. I don't think word got back to Fells Point about this.
Hey, it's, as you guys both know, I don't know what your roots are, but you know it's Baltimore. And I don't think you should devalue your show like that. I get it. Could be far-fetched, right? Who knows? Point is, this was enough of a conversation for multiple people to throw jabs at me, unlike I've ever received in person over the weekend at Fells Fest. Could be a drunken thing, could be completely irrelevant to what you guys were saying. I just wanted to throw that out there because it never happened. I've been here for 10 plus years, and maybe it just shows you the temperature of where things are right now. But look, I'm not gonna be, I won't lie. I was a little rubbed the wrong way by the way in which some of the labels were being thrown around.
Okay,
yeah,
so
wait,
I just want to correct him on a couple of things, because he said that we had some, we put out some misinformation, which we didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
I just ripped it all down. I gave you 5 or 6 examples.
Okay, well, let me correct you. I mentioned Ohio during the video. You didn't watch. You yourself said you didn't watch the whole thing.
I got around to it.
I was corrected multiple times throughout there that you were from New York, and I corrected that you were from New York, right? The wife thing wasn't about you having a wife. I was referencing something that what's his name did
happened with
Ryan Mink, right? I was making a joke about that, and people were like, "Oh, he's not married." I said, oh, "Okay, well, whatever. Replace wife with a dog or whatever." We're making a joke. I never said that you had a wife. I was just saying, when people are getting attacked on Twitter for things that they say, they like to deflect and say, "Oh, well, don't bring my wife into this, or don't do that, or whatever." Right? Instead of just saying, "All right, I messed up in what I said, my bad." So no, we didn't get it wrong, right? I didn't know in the beginning. I was asking a question. They corrected us in the chat, and I think Hendo knew. So we said, "Okay, you're from New York."
Moral of the story is, as you said off the top, you didn't do your research and you were speaking on something that you knew very little about.
I mean, this is coming from a guy who didn't even know our names before he came on the show.
Well,
after
Lunch Break Hot Take is the name. I thought there were 4 of you. I couldn't find him in the show notes. So,
did you think that there were 4 of us? Because you discussed this on a segment on your show when there were only the 2 of us before.
I think it was 3.
Okay,
I think Hendo was on that one.
This is where I don't have any recollection of where you guys were brought to this point where me and Sarah said something about the Harbaugh conversation referring to you as toxic. I need to be educated on that in terms of where that went awry.
Okay, I'll play that clip in a minute. But what does due diligence mean to you? Like, you say we didn't do our due diligence, but you say you thought there was 4 of us. You didn't know our names. Like, what does due diligence mean to you? Like, if you asked to come on the show, but you didn't do any homework. You didn't look at any of the videos. You didn't look.
I heard everything I needed to hear. I heard everything I needed to hear. I didn't have your first names. I looked at the show notes. I was looking up various things. There's a lot going on. We're mid-football season right now, and we're both carving out time for each other, which I appreciate.
I understand that. Everybody's busy. I get that.
Yeah, everybody's going to, regardless of football season, everybody's got busy lives, obviously. But it just, I spent a couple minutes on it, actually listened to the full thing today, and that was that.
Right. So you're saying you didn't like that we said something without doing our due diligence. That's what I'm asking you. What does that mean to you, doing due diligence? We obviously did our due diligence on you, right? We researched you, we researched the vault, right? We're not avid listeners of the show, right? But we do our research when we come on here and discuss topics. That's why I'm pushing
Well,
back on what you're saying.
okay. I look. I'll rip off the same things that I just mentioned to you. You know, you said off the top of your 20-minute segment, you didn't research right off the rip. Okay.
Didn't research what?
Somebody said within those 20 minutes in the opening moment, I didn't do any research on this, but let's talk about it. Okay. There was the Ohio, you came back and corrected the Ohio thought, but there was still conversation about that, right? What if somebody dropped off after that and they didn't think anything of it? There was talk about me being fired. That was just kind of thrown out there. Oh, I'm not sure. Was it a parting of ways or was it a fire? The
Yes.
media credentials conversation came up out of a Facebook post that I put up in
Correct.
the past. I was called fake. I was called disingenuous. Baltimore sports is none of my business, or the fans is none of my business. Victim, wife, even though you've clarified that was the Mink thing. Those were the notes that I had after
Right.
listening to 20 minutes of what just kind of felt like, let's just throw this together. Let's throw some stones here, have a little bit of fun with it. Let's throw a thumbnail up here with Bobby in front of the bank. Let's do some caps in here. Let's expose the hell out of them. Let's get some viewers on here. And you got that. That's for sure.
I'm glad that you said about the Ohio thing. Like, what if somebody kind of stopped listening after that, after it was mentioned and before it was corrected, right? Because that kind of gets to my issue with kind of this whole thing. I mentioned, I don't like when people tell fans, hey, you should be spending your money doing this, whatever. But just the Bobby Baltimore name in and of itself rubs me the wrong way as well, right? You don't have to be a fan of the Ravens. You don't have to be a fan of the Orioles. You don't have to be from the area. That's fine. And I understand that you do say on your show that you're not a fan of those teams. You're not from the area, right? But by that same token, people who listen to your show, even people who listen regularly, may not hear you say that, right? Because we have a lot of comments people have made to us that, wow, I didn't know he wasn't from the area. I didn't know he wasn't a Ravens fan or an Orioles fan. And the problem that I have with it, what rubs me the wrong way, is that when you brand yourself as Bobby Baltimore, you're putting out that certain image, right? And you can say, hey, yeah, I mentioned on the show that I'm not a fan of these teams. I'm not from this area. But when you say I'm Bobby Baltimore, here's my background with the purple like the Ravens, with the orange like the Orioles, you're expecting a certain reaction from fans, from people who don't know who you are, who haven't heard the show, who haven't heard you say that you're not a fan. You're expecting them to kind of think, okay, this is a Baltimore guy. He's a fan of the Ravens. He's a fan of the Orioles. Let me check this out. Right? Would you argue with that or no? You say that's pretty accurate.
Sure. I guess it would be up. By the way, can we move on from just on the slide part of this? Can we move on to just the three screen of us since we're on from
Sure.
politics?
Well, okay. I'm gonna keep this scene. I'll take down the tweet, but I'm gonna keep this scene up because I'm gonna play the video because you asked where where
before
you
you
and Sarah talked about this before.
You mind if I just respond to Brodny first there?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
Look, it certainly, I totally see where you're coming from. It can be up for interpretation, but most Baltimoreans who wouldn't know me, right? And you put a blinder around them and you take off the blinds and you say, do you think this guy has an allegiance towards Baltimore? I get it. I do understand that. That said, I will continue to be mindful and make sure that I reiterate something that I have been so upfront and honest, especially in a town like this, right? It is a diehard sports town. We know the rich history that comes with these two clubs. And I was lucky enough to have a fantastic encyclopedia mentor in Keith Mills when I first got the broadcasting job for the Ravens radio station. I literally drank from the fire hose from him, heard incredible stories about the 83 Orioles and everything in the 2000 Ravens and the 2012 Ravens, just everything in between, right? And so I totally respect the fan, the Baltimorean. And so that said, this was a nickname gifted to me, given to me, suggested to me by my own audience base. And after careful thought, and after I was fired by the Ravens radio stations. It was not the right fit in March of 2022. I took a severance package. I left the area for a few months to go back to New York while keeping my place here, reflected on some things, and decided to launch my channel not long after. And to me, it was something that fit what I was trying to build. And still, the mission from day one has been to be the opposite of fake, to be truly transparent, to be upfront and open and direct about what it is that I'm building, where my allegiances are. Because the truth is, the day that I got into broadcasting, I wanted to be a play-by-play broadcaster, and who knows where life takes me after this. But when I left the traditional side of things in 22, when I was really shown the door, right, I went the non-traditional side and it came with its own set of risks. And with that, I kind of leaned away a little bit from where I was chasing all throughout my 20s, which was sort of your like studio broadcaster, your traditional type of broadcaster approach. And what I wanted to bring with me, though, was that lack of allegiance. Like the day that I got into broadcasting, I was told by a mentor, hey, if you can strip your loyalty of New York sports across the board, you're going to be better off. You're not going to come across as biased. You're going to have more of a love for competition. You're going to have more of spirit for the game, right? And that has been literally something that I have stood tall on for years. And so I get it. From the outside looking in, I could see why it's left for interpretation, but it is something that I feel strongly about. And those who are familiar with the following, the show itself, I think they respect that.
If you're looking to strip allegiances as a broadcaster, as a journalist, as a YouTuber, whatever it may be, like I said, wherever you go in the future, why switch to Bobby Baltimore instead of just using your name?
Well, like I said, I think it was a fit.
Is it just? I'm sorry. I was going to ask, is it just that it's a catchy name and you just kind of liked it?
Sure, I think there's a catchy part to it. I think that there's the fact that the audience kind of started to catch on to it a little bit. I'm telling the truth here in terms of like this was something that was given to me. Now, have I taken it and ran with it? Absolutely. I mean, I got a decal on the back of my car through the sponsorship that I have here in town at a local dealership. I've got certain little pamphlets that I'll have when I'm out doing shows and whatnot. I have a passion, a burning passion for entrepreneurship, and something that I found within this journey, the last couple years since being out of radio, is that while I don't lose sleep over losses or even like insane primetime wins for the Ravens, I truly enjoy what I'm building. I feel like I'm building something along with Sarah and on my personal channel as well, which is why we're here. That is unique to the market, that's unique to where we're headed in the digital media age. And it's opening up doors for me. And so I would be lying to you, right? Fully transparently. I would be lying to you that I can't selfishly say, of course you want both teams in town to do well, because it's the more exposure that I'm for what I'm building, right? I'd be lying if I didn't say that. But I can't sit here and tell you that I'm a diehard fan, because I'm just not. And so a lot of this is simply just business to me. That might offend some people who are diehards, and I get that. And that's just how I feel, and I'm never really going to waver from that, because it's just how I've always been and the mindset that I've committed to.
Now, Bobby, I don't have a problem with anything you just said right there, right? I don't care about the name. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. But my question is this: if you're not a diehard fan, you're not that emotionally invested into it, why put out the tweet questioning fans and the turnout at the stadium? I think that's what got everybody upset. Like, I mean, you're bringing it to us, but really it's the tweet that you put out there. It was what got people upset. I mean, and there have been tons of people that have been retweeting that have called you out on that. They didn't like that you took a shot at them.
Yeah, I mean, you refer to it as a shot. Others might as well, clearly, based on the interaction with that tweet being pretty lopsided, not in my favor. To me, it was an objective observation. It was an objective observation based on fact, based on what I saw as a trend that, like I mentioned earlier on, with sort of this anticipation that what plagued the Orioles down the stretch, potentially leaking into the postseason, and I think that led to what it was, and whether or not that you can go all the way back to the trade deadline, the underwhelming trade deadline, then all the decimated with the rotation injuries, and then not being able to hit with runners in scoring position, and just so on and so forth, and so to me that's really all it was, and if it was a shot to some, I'm sorry they feel that way.
I think if you added context to that, there wouldn't be any issue right now with fans, right? If you said, hey, low turnout, I think it's because of X, Y, and Z, hashtag Burnland, whatever. You be having a conversation with people, agreeing with you or discussing the situation, but you just said poor turnout. And when somebody challenged you on it, instead of saying, hey, I'm not, this has nothing to do with you guys. I'm just kind of speculating here. I'm just kind of reporting what I see. You pushed back and said, I'm not a fan. So like, how would you take that? If the roles were reversed, like if you took it as, oh, you're saying I didn't support my team because I wasn't out there, and I'm asking you, did you get a ticket? And you're like, well, I'm not a fan. I don't have to support them. Right? Like you can see why people would be upset by that.
Hopefully it gave John, I think it was John. Is that who it was? I think hopefully John got the context that he needed. John Keller. John Keller. Did you buy a ticket? I'm not a fan, John. And obviously you see the pile on there, and
Jeremy.
Yeah, and Jeremy coming in.
Yeah.
What's up, Jeremy? Hey guys. But yeah, I mean, look, John is entitled to his opinion. You guys, of course, are entitled to your opinions. I've clarified, obviously, on a separate channel, right? Sure. On a separate app. Could it have been quote tweeted? Sure. Too late now. And again, I hear everybody's opinions. I appreciate them, and I appreciate you guys spelling them out.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So you asked about what you guys said about us before, right? You guys actually did a segment on a clip that you guys found from us. This was after the AFC Championship game. Put out a clip, and I was discussing how we shouldn't criticize Lamar for not running in that game, right? The onus is on John Harbaugh. And Sarah, more than Bobby, was twisting our words around, completely took it out of context. I mean, I think it's obvious from the clip that how she phrased it wasn't what we meant. But I'll play the clip. I cut it down a little bit because it was kind of long, and like you played other clips, so like I kind of just clipped it together. But I mean, okay. It's on your show. But I'll play it. Yep. Let me find it here. Here we go. Agree with this. Lamar Jackson knows what he's doing out there. He needs to not go out there and just take off every single time somebody's not open. Hold your coaching staff accountable. He's not the running back of this team. Okay, he's running plenty already.
Yep.
But the problem is every time he makes those spectacular runs, it takes the pressure off the coaching staff and it gets them lazy. And they're saying, "Oh, well, we don't have to do better with our play calling. Yeah. We don't have to do better with getting personnel. We can just he'll bail us out." No, he needs to keep doing what he's doing and put the onus on Harbaugh.
Okay, so the debate kind of is like, how much should Lamar Jackson take off and run, right? And so really at the end of the day, we have to trust Lamar to be able to make that decision, because at the end of the day, it is his decision. And so, but I think there's room to say specifically and I feel like he's handled it well all season, but specifically in that AFC Championship game, there seemed to be some easy yards that was right there for the tanking, and Lamar didn't take it. And so people are projecting saying he didn't take it because he wanted to win from the pocket. I don't know that. I don't know. Lamar hasn't spoken on that yet. Nobody's asked him that. So I don't know. But here's what I do know. From the, again, let me get the name right. From the first podcast, Lunch Break Hot Take. His reasoning for saying Lamar shouldn't take off, and he put it more in the phrase every single time, I'm not looking for 2018 Lamar. In fact, I like the 2023 version of Lamar, but I wish he would have pulled out that Superman running cape a little bit more in the playoffs. I think that's an appropriate time. But here's what I really want to push back against. He said, no, don't run, because put the accountability on John Harbaugh. And then he said for personnel, which is Eric DaCosta and the scouting department,
That's
right?
Crazy. That's crazy.
When you're in the middle of a game, particularly an AFC championship game, and there's yards there, the advice to say don't take off so that you can hold your head coach accountable. Now, look, I've already said, I've been on record, it was coaching malpractice that game. I didn't like the game plan. I didn't like it at all. Ravens got outcoached. Ravens got outplayed. That does not mean that going forward, your new mindset is the way I'm going to play is to make sure that my coach is accountable and not me. Bobby, I think we've both played sports enough, and you don't even have to play at the highest, in the world, but I've been covering the highest in the world since 2005. To play so that you're not getting blamed means that you're playing with an expectation to lose. So if you're
playing with fear.
And as Drew said, and I want to give credit to him, Drew had said on Twitter, you care about winning games, not getting into an accountability battle. It's toxic, Bobby. And it's the same thing I push back against that I pushed back against all last season, but in different terms, which was the contract negotiations. I had seen so many contract negotiations with other stars, whether it was Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, all these guys, and the outside talking points are toxic.
All right. So that's the clip that we reacted to initially. And you can see how she took what we said out of context there. And to finish it off by calling us toxic, I mean, that's ridiculous.
That seems like, so that was January 2024. That was after the AFC title game, like you said, or maybe early February.
I'm sorry, Bobby. Hold on a second. I switched the scenes, B.
Okay, hold on. Let me bring it back up.
That was my fault.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, go ahead, Bobby.
You guys got me?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was January 2024. To be honest with you, we produce so much content on a daily basis that I don't even remember it. And to your point, I didn't remember it up until the clip. And to your point, I think that's between you guys and Sarah.
Well, you co-signed it.
I don't know what I said after. I don't know what I said afterwards, but that's between you and Sarah.
Well, no, it's between you two. You co-signed what she said. You said it was ridiculous. You also you had some more to say after that. I couldn't put the whole clip in there, but you pretty much agree with what she said, and you kind of jumped on it as well.
I mean, I don't really have much to say. The clip is the clip.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
I mean,
you want me to change my opinion?
You don't have to. No, you don't have to change anything. I mean, you're saying you didn't know like what we were talking about when we said that you took a shot at us. There it is.
I didn't take the shot, so.
Well, but again, when you talk about doing due diligence and things like that, you came here onto our show tonight not knowing who said what about you. There were 4 people on screen. I thought there was 4 people on the show. I don't know your names. I don't know the other 2 people on the show. But when we talk about what happened on your show, talk to Sarah.
Well, I mean, you guys just heard the clip. I mean, she was direct. She was steering that conversation. And did I, like to your point, did I go along with it? Yeah. I mean, in the moment, yeah. And I agree with what she said. Am I calling you guys toxic? No, it's the conversation surrounding it. It's not you guys. It's the conversation. So
do you think from that, you saw our clip. Do you think from that clip we were saying Lamar shouldn't have run in the game so he can show up the coach?
Play your portion again, if you would.
Sure.
Just your portion, if you would.
All right, I'm going to cover us up. I'm going to go back to the other scene.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, go back to the other scene. That's where I have it be.
Well, now you can just edit here real quick. Hold on.
I got it. That's fine. I got it. Agree with this. Lamar Jackson knows what he's doing out there. He needs to not go out there and just take off every single time somebody's not open. Hold your coaching staff accountable. He's not the running back of this team. Okay, he's running plenty already.
Yep.
But the problem is every time he makes those spectacular runs, it takes the pressure off the coaching staff and it gets them lazy. And they're saying, "Oh, well, we don't have to do better with our play calling. Yeah. We don't have to do better with getting personnel. We can just he'll bail us out." No, he needs to keep doing what he's doing and put the onus on Harbaugh.
Okay, so
all right. So what do you think?
And your question was, do I think what?
What did you get from that clip? Did you get that we were saying Lamar shouldn't run in the AFC Championship game so he can show up his head coach?
Yeah, I see where you're going with this. It's not I don't view that as toxic. Were the words taken out of context a little bit, I could see why you feel that way. Does she speak with a certain conviction and passion that doesn't necessarily reflect her meaning or the way that she means to come across internally? Yes, I believe that. I've been working with her for 2+ years. She's been on record for saying such. So toxic is a strong word. But if so, the way that she took it, though, we can all agree that type of mantra would be toxic, but it doesn't necessarily say that that's what you guys were going at. So I'm with you.
Okay, you got anything else, B?
No.
It seems like we're ending on a little bit of we had a good momentum building here, and once Sarah's clip came up, it seems as if your demeanors have changed a little bit in terms of where we're at. Did we not make good progress?
No, nothing's changed. If I switch this back to the other scene,
I'll go ahead and switch it.
Okay. All right.
Don't worry about it.
B handles this part of it. See, when I tell you we're a small operation, this is a small operation over here.
All good.
No. I mean, that's fine. Your answer is your answer. That's fine. I mean, I'm trying to address all the things that you were saying on your show and the issues you took with us. I don't think we put out any misinformation. I mean, like some of the strong opinions that we've had on the show, you may not like. That's fine, but I don't think we put out anything that was misinformation. Right? We addressed the Ohio thing. We addressed the wife thing, the firing thing. We didn't say anything that was inaccurate. Right? So you don't like it. I get it. I mean, we didn't like it when you talked about us. That comes with it. But
we both don't like things, right? You guys aren't a fan of what I've leaned into business-wise,
sure.
And I'm not a fan of that 20-minute segment. And so, we could be here all night, right, in terms of trying to find some middle ground.
But you know what, though? But see, this is, I guess, this is where we differ, right? Like, if you don't agree with Sarah on something, it's, hey, talk to her. If I don't agree with B, then I don't agree with B. Like, B has a different opinion on that than I do. I'm fine with your whole setup. You want to call yourself Bobby Baltimore? That's fine. You're running the business. Me and B are trying to run the business over here too. We have a brand that we're trying to build too. We're doing it differently, but you can do it the way you want to do it. I don't have an issue with it. The only thing I have an issue with is you telling fans, or perceive, what we perceive is you telling fans, you need to go out there and spend your money. It's a poor showing. That's the only thing I took issue with. B has a different issue than I do. So we can have disagreements like that. I don't have any problem, saying that on the show.
And you should, you shouldn't have a problem with it. That's your interpretation of it. To me, it's that perception thing, like you said. And there's a lot of people that obviously agree with you based on the interactions within the tweet. Look, hopefully the big takeaway here is with the disagreements that aren't changing. I think it's refreshing in 2024 that three guys who don't agree can hop on a live stream in a public forum and talk through things in a relatively civil manner. I got respect for the two of you for saying yes to my suggestion to come on. We've hashed a lot out. No idea if we're going to talk again. And honestly, that's not even the point of it. Hopefully people got something out of it. And I appreciate the time.
Hey, thanks for coming on and defending your position. Like I said, obviously we don't agree, but that's fine. Bobby, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, so Bobby Baltimore across all channels, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Sarah and I have a podcast called The Vault, Daily Ravens Show, 12 to 1 Eastern. We'll take a look at Ravens Commanders at 12:30 on Friday with Grant Paulson, who 106.7 The Fan down in D.C. Looking forward to having him on. And should be a good one. I mean, maybe back-to-back shootouts. We'll have to see here. Jaden's a problem, and as I heard you guys talking about prior, there's a lot that needs to happen on that back end, and hopefully Dean Pease can figure that out because Sunday was, let's just say it's clean living being on the right side of a shootout. So I hope you guys enjoy the game, and maybe we'll cross paths again.
You also do a roundtable, correct? Like with another channel, roundtable show?
That's what I was doing right before I came on with you guys. AFC North Roundtable, 6 o'clock Eastern, Wednesday nights. Sort of a startup YouTube channel type thing.
There you go. All right. Well, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on. And who knows? Maybe we'll cross paths again.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bobby.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Bobby Trosset. I don't think we settled on anything, but you got the two sides of it. You guys can decide. I see the chat is going crazy on here. Let's read a couple of comments here. SVK, I haven't seen SV Cam in forever. What's going on? Says that boy Bobby T. Yes. Who we got here? Ravens Girl. What's going on, Ravens Girl? Says, I listen to lots of Baltimore Ravens content, this show and Bobby and Sarah included. This doesn't seem very productive as a listener, but I hope both sides feel good about it.
Yeah,
I
kind of agree, Ravens Girl. But listen, Bobby wanted to come on and
yes,
kind of clear the air and clarify some things, and we certainly are not going to deny him the opportunity to do so when we, when at our segment talking, poking fun and making jokes. So
I want to make that.
That's fine.
I want to make this very clear because some people will say we're clout chasing them by putting out a video about them. He hit us up almost immediately after that video went out, okay, and asked to be on the show. We didn't chase him down and say, hey, come on the show. He asked to be on the show, and like we said, that's fine. Anything that we say, we stand on 1,000%. You guys know this, all right? So if we say something, we stand on it. We're not afraid to have a conversation with anybody. So he kind of pressed on what we said, and like I said, there's nothing that we said that was factually wrong. Nothing. He looked at it. Obviously, he got a little upset about it. So his emotions were probably riding high when he was watching the video, and he was saying that we were saying things that we didn't actually say, or we said it, but we cleaned it up in that same video. So, we look. Me and B know what we're doing here. Okay, we know what we're talking about. We know the topics that we talk about before we come on air. All right. So anybody want to push back on what we're saying, we more than welcome the conversation. D-Bank says, no matter where y'all stand, it's nice to see people handle their differences like adults. Absolutely. I respect him for coming on and defending his position.
Mm-hmm.
The MAGA Bobby thing, it was funny, right? But I mean, let's be real. Like me and B were older. We're very politically aware. Like, we know what it means when you're constantly tweeting out conservative views, conservative ideas, right? Retweeting people like Michelle Tafoya, who's a far right person. Vivek, I forget that guy's name. I can't pronounce his last name. I know what that means. Okay, we're not dumb. So you can say that's what you are. It's fine. What's up, Engraven? Says, I know y'all didn't agree from both sides, but hopefully there can be peace moving forward. Appreciate the three of you having this conversation. There wasn't war before.
I know there's a lot of war rhetoric going on from some people. Like we told some jokes. he didn't like, and that's okay.
That's fine.
know?
Yeah, we didn't. Truth be told, we didn't need to have a conversation.
Nobody likes jokes about them. I mean,
Except for Suge, But look, I mean, yeah. The conversation didn't need to be had. He wanted to have a conversation. He wanted to get off his chest. That's fine. I think he understands us now. Obviously, he didn't. I mean, he said he didn't do his due diligence coming onto the show. He didn't know who we were. Didn't know our names. The only thing I didn't really like through this whole ordeal is he's telling his fan base that he was hoping that we have a civil conversation like we're some savages or something like that. Right. That's fine. We'll come on. You can come on. We'll let you talk. And we got a donation. Salute to Noah. It says hashtag LBHT for life. Salute to you, Noah. Appreciate that.
This is funny because Bear Arm says, so someone who differs politically can't be friends with you. When did anyone say that?
Right. We didn't say anything about first of all, I mean, we're not friends. We don't know him, right? But I have conservative friends and family, right? And sometimes that is the case, and that's fine too, right? It depends on what you believe, right? There's some liberals I ain't friends with.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly do you believe? That's just, I mean, liberal, conservative, libertarian, whatever, those are labels. What do you actually believe? Right. And those things do matter. Your values do matter. You can't, there's some people you're just not going to get along with.
The Flex Zone also hoping for world peace moving forward. Right.
Hey, salute to y'all, man. Hey, y'all go subscribe to the Flex Zone podcast, man. Those guys are doing good stuff over there. We see your stuff, man. Who else? We'll bring up a couple. Hey, thank you, Yolanda. Yolanda says, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. Appreciate that. Let's see. It's fair. Agree to disagree like adults. I'm not going to read that name. No bleep given. It's fair. Agree to disagree like adults. Yes. Hey, appreciate that. Yeah, subscribe to Yolanda's channel.
Yeah, he subscribed to Yolanda.
I still appreciate that. Okay, Yolanda she's almost at 1,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. There's 140 people in here.
I would appreciate it more if you subscribed to us.
Wow.
That's cool that you subscribe to Yolanda though. or maybe that's the next war.
Yolanda's part of our crew. Okay, we want our crew to be successful. All right. Oh, you know what? I put the links in the description, but I don't think they're linked. But their names are in there. Ravens Talk with Yolanda. Go over there and subscribe.
Coach. Civility. Yes.
Civility. Yes, indeed. Yes. 33 Lady Rand says, proud of you guys. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
This is what I'm talking about. Be the change. He said, didn't realize this was East Coast versus West Coast beef.
I've seen some of their stuff this week. People have sent some of their stuff over to us this week. Look, man, it was heavy on his mind. He did not like. I wanted to ask him, what was it really that he was upset? I asked him what he was upset about. He kind of, he mentioned a few things, but I wanted to ask him, like, what were you really mad about? Because I feel like it was a thumbnail, and I wanted to tell him. Okay, I didn't call you a fraud.
Right.
I said fraud.
Right.
Okay. There's a difference there.
And then we left it up to the viewers to decide.
Yeah.
A lot of you had already made up your minds.
And also, bring Bobby back, because he's a businessman, right? He needs to understand the business of YouTube, right? Clickbait is what gets you clicks. All right, catchy thumbnails, catchy titles, and anytime people say, "Oh, it's just clickbait," everything that you do on YouTube is clickbait. Everything from thumbnail to title, everything. Clickbait. Yeah. And, and that was a conversation that we actually had on there. It wasn't like I said, fraud. And then we started talking about, the Ravens and Commanders game coming up, so that was a conversation that we had. But hey man, he's in a business. He should understand the business.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I feel like this is a great place to end it. Feeling good. Had that great conversation. We brought peace to these YouTube streets.
Okay, all right.
I feel like it's time to head out.
No.
Go catch this Dodgers game.
All right, we're already over an hour in. These next topics are going to go by fast, okay? Because we still have an overtime show. If you want to be a part of the overtime show, patreon.com/LBHT Show. It's a little bit different of a show. It kind of goes in a direction that you, the fans, want to go in. We have some set topics, beforehand. It's not necessarily sports. It can be, or it could be entertainment, movies, like we're going to talk about tonight. And if there's anything else you want to talk about, we'll discuss it. Some of our friends that we collab with usually come in and chat with us. Coach Evans comes through from time to time. Ferris and Hendo, the two other guys, the two other guys that were attacking our friend Bobby last week, they're on the show sometimes. It's a lot of fun, and we got another donation. Shout out to McClendon. What's his comment say?
I was one of many that unsubscribed. He had to chat.
Say that one more time because you were drowning out.
He said, I was one of many that unsubscribed. He had to chat. Now, we didn't tell anybody to unsubscribe from Bobby's channel or to not watch Bobby's content. If that rubs you the wrong way and you decide to do that, then so be it. But I honestly don't think that he was taking that big a hit to the subscriber count.
I don't accept any of that talk about people in Fells Point were approaching him and yelling at him because of what we said. I don't work. See, Bobby doesn't know this about me. I work a stone's throw away from Fells Point. Okay, there's one person that's recognized me from the show. Okay,
that was after
he didn't say
him the show.
Yeah, he didn't say down with the Volt or down with Bobby Baltimore. Okay, like don't put that on us, Bobby. Don't you put that evil on me, Bobby. I should have said that to him. All right, look, no, let's do the rest of the show real quick. All right. Panthers, B.
Mm-hmm.
It's not looking great for them. Injuries have really kind of derailed them.
Yep. Austin Corbett out for the year now.
He's out for the year?
He tore his bicep.
Wow.
Dunzo.
Wow. So, I'm asking you, is it time to tank? But they may not have much.
They don't have to actively tank. The team they're the worst team in the NFL. From a talent perspective, and now, like you said, they've been hit hard with injuries on the defensive side. I've seen people talking about what a bad job Avero's doing as defensive coordinator, and maybe it's time to move on, blah blah blah. But you can't effectively run an NFL defense with the players that he has out there right now. So,
right.
No, it's not time to tank. It's time to continue to just evaluate the young players on the team and start making your plans for 2025. The only thing that we can really hope is that David Tepper has kind of learned his lesson and he's going to give Canales and his staff time to do this properly.
All right. And the other thing I want to bring up is Bryce Young. He came in at the end of the game. Are we going to see more of him moving forward?
So the explanation that they gave for Bryce coming in wasn't even that it was a blowout. It was that, and this is something that I could not imagine someone saying in 2024, but that the O-line was so banged up and he wanted to protect Andy Dalton.
What?
He wanted to protect Andy. He didn't want him taking them hits, which to me sounds like he's completely out on Bryce at this point.
Right.
If you're throwing him in there to take the hits. Again, like I said, I don't think that we should see Bryce again this year. I really don't, especially if you're hoping to trade him in the offseason. Have that allure, that secrecy. Say, hey, Dave Canales, he's the one who fixed Baker Mayfield. He's been working with Bryce one-on-one. Pretty sure we fixed him. But Bryce, he wants a change of scenery, and we're going to go in another direction. So now you can have Bryce for the low price of a second-round pick. right? But if he goes out there and he plays and he looks like Bryce Young has looked in the past, that's not going to work. So I don't think he should be out there, but who knows at this point.
Yeah. Andy wasn't looking. Andy looked like he came all the way back down to earth.
I told y'all after the first game he played that arm was going to get real tired real soon. And it was nice while it lasted.
I think we're going to see Bryce Young a lot sooner than we think. All right. Let's do quarter public opinion.
Plummer.
Oh, is he back?
Well, no,
I thought he was hurt.
No, not Jake. Jack Plummer, the quarterback they had in the preseason.
No, I thought he was hurt or something. Was he hurt?
I don't think he's hurt. I think he's all right. I think he's just bad. But I'm sure he's available. So, but
right.
Let's go ahead and let me. I didn't actually do the thing for the quarter public opinion. Hang on.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, okay, if you're new here, first of all, hit that subscribe button. If you don't know, okay, I'm the Ravens fan over here. Brodny's the Panthers fan. Bobby probably didn't know that either.
You know what's crazy? And I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm sorry. But I'm on 3 shows to talk about the Ravens, right?
Yeah.
My name starts with B and ends in Y, and I'm not Brodny Baltimore. But I guess I could be.
But you know, maybe you should change it.
Maybe.
Well, somebody said you should change the Brodny Charlotte, right?
Yeah, that doesn't have the same kind of ring to it, though. It's,
Brodny NC.
I gotta give it to Bobby. It is very
Carolina B.
Yeah, Bobby Baltimore is very catchy. I gotta give him that.
It is.
I won't take that away.
I ain't mad at it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a court over here. It may not be a real court, but it's the only court that you need.
Judges and law.
Court of public opinion is coming up next. Order. Court is now in session. All right. We got to make this a quick one because we got to go. We like to take our time with this usually, but we got to speed through this because this is one thing that we are dead serious on. We do not hit 2 hours. This is hashtag no 2 hours over here. Never. Okay. So,
never again, as we have before.
Right. Well, I mean, yes, certain circumstances, yes. All right. Robert Saleh got fired, okay, from the Jets. We all suspect Aaron Rodgers is behind this. Okay. Is there anybody that's going to come to Aaron Rodgers' defense here? First, let's talk about the circumstances under which Robert Saleh got fired, B.
Yeah, Robert Saleh, he's the coach of a bad team. They're not very good. In large part because of Aaron Rodgers. But they got beat. He came into work on a Tuesday morning after losing on Monday. Get back at it. I'm on the next week, trying to turn this train around or get it back on the tracks. You don't really turn the trains around. And then Hank from security came and escorted him out of the building. Which that is just wild to me.
I mean, I don't keep track of how coaches are escorted or fired, but it feels like this has never happened before.
Right.
It
feels like exclusively Jets.
This is very diabolical because you knew you were going to fire him before he showed up. Even if you decided while he was in transit to the stadium, how hard is it to call him and say, don't come in?
Right.
How hard is it to cut his key card off?
Yeah.
They've done that at Jets facilities before. We've seen that on Hard Knocks.
Apparently. And the rumor out there is that he was thinking about firing Nathaniel Hackett, who is the offensive coordinator, who has done a terrible job.
Was it Nathaniel Hackett or was it
yes. Nathaniel Hackett,
okay, yes.
And who was also the previous head coach of the Denver Broncos, who Sean Payton famously said did the worst coaching job of all time. So the rumor is he was thinking about cutting or firing Nathaniel Hackett. Then the owner has a conversation with Aaron Rodgers Monday night not about Robert Saleh. And Tuesday morning, Robert Saleh is fired. So, I mean, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers says he resents any implication that he had anything to do with it because it's patently false, and he has a great relationship with Robert Saleh. But I saw Saleh try to hug you, and you were like, "Get the hell away from me." So, I don't know.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is not a good liar, and he is a liar. All right. Of course he did it. Now, okay, I don't need Aaron Rodgers to admit it. Okay, you don't admit things like that. That's just how it goes. But I'm appalled. I'm offended that you would even think it would be me. Of course it would be you. You always throw your coaches under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's ever worked with a single coach that he hasn't thrown under the bus.
Yeah. Now, to be fair, Mike McCarthy deserved it. They said my man was in the hot tub during meeting time. Like, he just wouldn't go. So, I can't blame him for that one.
Man, like, it was just 2 weeks ago, he's shoving Robert Saleh, who's just trying to give him a hug after a good play, right? Like, what is you're 40. Okay? You're a man. You're 40. What are you doing? Okay? Now, okay.
Well, maybe he was helping him out because he was like, "You better get away from me. You know I'm not vaccinated." Like, why are you coming over here, bro?
I've been coughing a little bit. I've been immunized, not vaccinated.
Keep your distance. I'm gonna put up the poll here. Like, it's hashtag Aaron or hashtag Robert. If you believe that Aaron Rodgers is legitimately appalled, that he's angry because he had a great relationship with this coach, and he would never dream of getting a superior fired. Hashtag Aaron. As we like to say around here, if you want to be on the right side of history, hashtag Robert, because Robert Saleh was done dirty. He won 7 games with Zach Wilson, Mike White, and Joe Flacco. That's not a coach that you fire.
I'm gonna say, okay, do this quickly because we got to move quick. All right. Here's my thing. He was fired was dirty. Robert Saleh was going to get fired at the end of the year anyway.
Yeah,
because he hasn't had a winning season. You can say it's not his fault or it is his fault, whatever. But he was going to get fired. The Jets aren't going anywhere, right? Because the reality is Aaron Rodgers he's washed.
Yeah,
right. That's the reality. And last year, maybe if he was healthy, they'd have had a better chance. I just don't think Aaron Rodgers has it anymore.
There it is. Oh my God.
Live Legend says hashtag Aaron.
There's always one.
There you go.
There's always one.
But I think it's one of those things. They looked at it and said, we're not keeping Robert Saleh. Aaron Rodgers isn't happy with them. Let's just keep Rodgers happy now because we got to get through the season with him and hopefully get a return on investment with him, right? So that is fine, but don't escort him from the building. You know what I mean? What is it? What you laughing at?
Robert Saleh should come be our DC so we can call him Robbie Baltimore.
See, this is why he hates y'all.
You know what, Reg? You stop it, okay?
Reg is the reason why he keeps getting harassed in Fells Point. Not us.
Probably was Reg.
It probably was Reg. We should ask him, what did the culprit look like? I'm pretty sure we can spot him out. We can hunt him down for you. Attitude Pop said hashtag neither. That is not a valid answer, Attitude Pop. Okay, pick one or the other. Hey, it's my friend Shang. What's going on? You're up.
What's up, Shang?
Thanks for coming through. Shang hooked me up with his microphone, by the way. Appreciate you.
See, we were having fun.
Yeah, Robbie Baltimore. All right, it's not looking good for Aaron.
Bring that up.
Oh, what, the mic?
Roll down.
It's a nice mic.
It is. It is a nice mic.
Shay said, what are you going to do? He's talking about me. He's quoting me. Okay. I said one time I said it one time to somebody at work who was trying to give us a hard time. I was just like, what are you gonna do? I mean, I gave you your answer, right? It's not the answer that you want, but it is what it is. I don't work for you. Like, sorry, you know. But he loves it. He's gonna put that on a plaque. What are you gonna do? All right. Okay. Do we have any questions? Submitted questions?
Nope. See, and you can't even, I put up the post. Now it may have been
Like
5
2
minutes
minutes
before the show. It was like 5. It was like 5. But it's up there, and there are no questions. I haven't actually. Oh. Wow, we assigning blame out here today. What happened to peace?
Let's go to the other scene so we can play.
Jesus,
we can play. So Ferris isn't here, but he did a video for us, so we can do a quick wrap up of the WNBA playoffs. We're gonna play that real quick.
What scene did you put it on?
Oh, football scene, I think. Football scene. I asked you on the basketball scene. You just put on the football scene.
Okay, because like we have multiple. I'm just gonna go. I'll tell you what I'm gonna do.
No, the 2-person one.
No, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Yeah, we have multiple of those too. So I'm gonna do this.
You gonna add it?
I'm just gonna switch back and I'm gonna add it and we're gonna play it. All right.
Okay.
Absolutely ridiculous. Disgusting.
Do you have it?
Hold on. Media files. And wait.
I got it right here.
Okay, go ahead and play it.
Let's go.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Ferris, man. Welcome to the WNBA Roundup. Last night we had Game 5 of the semifinals between the Minnesota Lynx and the Connecticut Sun. The Minnesota Lynx beat them. Suck it, Reg. The Minnesota Lynx will make their 7th appearance in the WNBA Finals, going 4-2 their previous 6, led by that great dynasty Maya Moore, Simone Augustus, Lindsay Whalen. Nafisa Collier had 27 and 11. Courtney Williams had 24, 7 and 5, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, leading them to their 7th WNBA Finals appearance. A couple of days beforehand, I believe on Sunday, the New York Liberty beat the Las Vegas Aces in 4, poured in by 19 and 14 by Brianna Stewart, and 22, 7 boards and 2 assists by Sabrina Ionescu. But the key was Leonie Fibish, 2-time Spanish League MVP. She's now a starter in the playoffs. So remember that name, Leonie Fibish. She will be a problem. But the Minnesota Lynx are the best defensive team in the league. So we'll see how they operate because they have a solid unit. They're pretty deep. So they are a problem. I'm going with the Minnesota Lynx over the New York Liberty because word of the day, history. The New York Liberty are 0-5 in WNBA Finals appearances. 0-5. Minnesota Lynx are 4-2. So we'll see about that. Can the generational trauma of the New York Liberty be outweighed by the greatness of Brianna Stewart? All she does is win. She won at UConn. She won in Seattle. She wins in Europe. Can she break the generational curse on the New York Liberty? I don't think she can, because I think the Minnesota Lynx and Cheryl Reeve have history on their side, going 4 out of 6, only losing to the Los Angeles Sparks and the Indiana Fever. Shout out to the great Tamika Catchings, by the way. The last time the Indiana Fever were kind of good. So there's that, So remember, guys, word of the day, history. I'm going with the Lynx. That's my pick. What's your pick? You tell me. But before we go out, I want to give a special shout out to Connecticut Sun forward DeWanna Bonner. There's been rumors swirling around that this is possibly her last game ever played, because she signed a 1-year deal in Connecticut. She could sign a 1-year deal coming up next year, but people have been saying that may not happen. At this moment, DeWanna Bonner, 6-time WNBA All-Star, 5th pick overall in the 2009 draft, 2-time WNBA champion with Phoenix, who drafted her. She spent 10 years in Phoenix. First team All-Pro. First team All-NBA in 2015. Second team All-WNBA in 2020. A storied career. Most all-time playoff appearances. I believe either she's tied for second or is second in playoff points, because she needed 15 to break the record. And I think she got 14 in the game against the Sun. So if this is her last day, I'd like to thank DeWanna Bonner for her amazing career and what she's done for the WNBA. Shout out to you, DeWanna. And I hope you do enjoy retirement. If this is your last game ever. But I think losing gives people the itch. You can't go out like this. So we may see her next year. But if it's not to be, I'd like this time to say thank you, DeWanna. We appreciate you and we thank you. Thank you so much. Everybody, that's your WNBA Roundup. I'm your boy Ferris. See y'all next time. Peace.
Thank you, Ferris, man.
Everybody? It's your
Really
boy Ferris,
appreciate
man. Welcome
you.
to
You
the
can check
WNBA.
out Ferris's work on the LGR Network, the highlights, and LGR Network Entertainment. All right, both of those links will be in the description. I gotta put the hyperlinks in there, but they're in there. You can type them in after the show. The hyperlinks will be active. You can just click on it, hit the subscribe button. The whole crew is in there. It's a bunch of people in there. Okay. Coach Evans from Sip to Tally Films and more Sip to Tally Films. Chris Just Joking from the Deep Cover Podcast. Hendo from the Roll Pod. Ferris, we just talked about from Let's Get Ready Network. We got Raven C in there. We got Suge Knight 323. Who else we got in there? We got our brother OTR Mike from Open Mic with OTR Mike and Ring Kings Podcast, the podcast that we do a show with him on for all your boxing needs. All right. Everybody's in there. So go in there, check them out, hit the subscribe button. Okay. All right. We did it, B. We did it. Okay. We survived World War III. Okay. There's peace. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Hope you got something out of it. I hope you guys understand who we are. If you've never watched this before, and you're coming from Sarah and Bobby's channel or Bobby's channel, he has a separate channel, and you had a set opinion of us. I hope that you have a better understanding of who we are now, and we're not just some trolls out there, looking to troll them. That's the furthest thing from the truth. Okay. And if you're enjoying the content, check us out. We do this every Wednesday, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. We're getting ready to do the overtime show for our Patreons. If you want to be a part of it, patreon.com/LBHT Show is how you do it. For as little as $5 a month, it gets you access to the overtime show, also access to our Discord. And look, if you check it out and you don't like it, that's fine. We don't kick you out of the Discord unless you do something to get kicked out of the Discord, because we're building a community over there. It's a lot of fun. If you want to spend a little extra for the $10 tier, you get a nice little coin like this. All right. And we have some other perks for higher tiers. Go over and check it out and figure out which one is best for you. But that is it. We are done. B, are you ready to get out of here?
Yep.
B is ready. Give us a few minutes. I didn't actually put it on Patreon yet. Just give me like 2 minutes. I'll put the link on Patreon. You guys will get the notification. The overtime show will be starting very shortly. Everybody else, thank you very much. Have a great night. I'm gonna clip that part. I'm gonna clip Bobby's part. All right, that's gonna go out as a separate video. All right, fraud won't be on there this time. Okay, maybe I'll put not fraud. Okay. I'll clip that out there, so if you guys just want to see that part of it, you missed the show. First of all, watch the replay, but I'll put that clip out there, some other clips as well. So all right, we are out of here. B is ready. We will see you guys next time. Peace.